All right, hey guys, doing today about to hop into the review of Proverbs chapter 27. I believe this is part 3, but the first things first, though. Just want to make sure y'all like that video. You know what to do. Like, exit full screen, scroll just a little bit, like it, and for screen it back up. You feel me? So we left off with verse 12. So we're going to hit verse 13. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take the pledge of him for a strange woman. And moving into a different translation, if this wants to load, we can see that this says the judge tells the creditors to take the garment of one who is surety, right? Guarantees a loan for a stranger, take his cloth, right? Because he made a loan, take his cloth is kind of like that collateral, and hold him in pledge when he is surety for an immortal woman, for it is unlikely the debt will be repaid. And in Proverbs 5 and 7, we can see that women can entice men to be indebted unto them. So when he's surety for a seductress, it's immoral and foolish, so we should regard them as a credit risk, right? Nothing too crazy, but this, I don't really think this is how loans work nowadays. Now it's kind of like the collateral is the banks taking your house if you don't pay them back, right? But if you lend somebody money, I guess it's not a dumb thing to, get something of theirs as well that you can hold over their head. Just make sure that it's something that is equal value or greater in value, because if they need the money, chances are they won't matter letting you hold one of their flat screen TVs. Say for example, right, they borrow 50 bucks, you say, hey, I'm gonna get your TV because you said you're gonna pay it tomorrow. You gotta have your TV back tomorrow. You gotta have your PS5 back tomorrow, right? The fact that that thing is more expensive, at least that lets them know, hey, I gotta give him 50 bucks back. He has something that's worth 500, or a flat screen like something that's worth 200 of mine, which is more than 50 bucks. I give him 50 bucks back, then I get my greater item back. However, most people won't really go for that, but you can always find your way to doing something of the sort. Anyway, verse 14, he that blesses his friend with a loud voice rising early in the morning, it should be counted a curse to them, right? So I say you're waking up your friend, for example, loud voice, early morning, you're like, bless you, friend, you're so great, and all this type of stuff. It shall be counted as a curse. And Pastor Paul in the sermon said that this verse kind of just means that timing matters, I guess, right? Bless them later. Why wake them up in the morning, right? You counsel with the early morning counted as curse, for either it will be annoying or his purpose will be suspected. Maybe you're trying to bribe him, not bribe him, but like butter him up to do something. His unnatural voice and timing betrays him as a hypocrite, and no good will come of it. Yeah, that makes sense. Why are you in the early morning? You're such a great guy, and you did this and you did that, and I just love you so much. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Why are you waking me up with this? It's early in the morning. Early afternoon? Maybe. Dinner? Maybe. Early in the morning? I'm not gonna lie, I don't even understand really this, but yeah, I don't know. This flattery is apparently meant to manipulate the person, so it could be counted as a curse. Actually, it makes sense. If you do it in the early morning, when they say, like, oh, wait for your parents in a good mood to ask them for something, right? Maybe it's you bless them in the morning, they get a good thought of you. Then around dinner, you ask them for something, and then so all day they're thinking, man, that dude's a really nice dude. And then later when he asks you, you're like, oh, he's a good guy. I'll give it to him. But really, it was meant to butter you up. He ain't praising you just to praise you kind of thing, right? Real friendship needs no assurance. That's a good little quote down there. Anyway, oh, we actually talk about that at my job, because we're telling people, like, you gotta sit here and you gotta sit here, and then they're like, but my friend's sitting over there. And it's like, hey, if you can't spend an hour without your friend, maybe that friendship wasn't as real as you thought it was, right? That's what they told us to tell them when they said that. Anyway, verse 15, a continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. And the commentary makes note that this isn't like a lot of rain is coming, and it's like, oh, that's a good thing back in this time, but how is it like to a contentious woman? It's more so it's raining a lot, you have a bad roof, and there's a dripping in your house, so there's a leak. So something ain't working right, firstly, but two, it's also going to drive you mad, drive you crazy, make you more likely to lash out in anger, and yeah, it's not what you want. And I also like that it says a man takes shelter under the roof expecting to find protection. Instead, he finds the leaky roof provides him no shelter. Likewise, he married with the expectation of finding good, but from the wife he expected protection, and from the rudeness of the world, she harshly attacks him at home. That's a great little excerpt there. Verse 16, whoever hides her hides the wind, and the ointment of his right hand, which bewrayeth itself. I don't even know what that means, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I have the faintest a clue of what that means. Whoever restrains her restrains the words. Correct or reform a contentious woman could be a fool's errand. She can be as difficult to restrain as the wind, or as hard to get as hold of as oil in the hand. Gotcha. Instead of trying to change them, a wise and godly husband loves her as Jesus Christ loves his church, and leaves the changing up to God. And we even get this, yeah, there, I was really going to say Ephesians. I didn't know that it was in Ephesians, right? But it talks about when a wife marries a non-religious husband, it's just supposed to be that you're supposed to love them and continuously love them and have them see your change and you've become a Christian. They haven't. They're supposed to see that change until it eventually changes their heart or they take notice. Doesn't always work, right? That wasn't that verse actually in Ephesians. It was some other verse about husbands loving their wife. But the wives were instructed that if you marry a non-religious man before you convert, then it's kind of just like thug it out. Maybe they'll notice that you're a different person now and they'll change too. Verse 17, iron sharpen iron. So a man sharpens the countenance of his friend, right? So sharpen the face of his friend, basically saying, right? He said this applies to not only Christianity or Judaism or whatever, it applies to all walks of life, right? People need people, and Pastor Paul said that's literally the point of this verse, is we need each other. We make each other better, right? That Neo and that Fatball song. And baby, you make me better, you make me better. I recommend that song. It's a pretty good song. Anyway, but the point being, we need each other. When we're together, we make things happen, right? Disregarding the Tower of Babel, when a lot of people come together, we can make a lot of good happen. But in the same sense, right, our hearts deceitfully wicked, we can make a lot of bad happen, right? Our flesh yearns for destruction and evil, and we can make a lot of bad. But overall, if we all put our hearts together in the power of Jesus, we can make something good, so that iron will sharpen iron. But the same goes in the inverse for evil people sharpening other evil people. Proverbs 17:18 or 27:18, verse 18. Whoso keeps the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, so that he waiteth on his master and shall be honored. Let's check this in another translation to see if I can understand what it means. I don't know why this thing has been moving so slowly. It used to be so fast with opening the other Bible, right? Whoever tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, but he who guards his master will be honored. I'm pretty sure we talked about this a few times, right? Keeping good fruits around, you'll reap that, right? You sow good fruits, you'll reap good fruits. Pretty straightforward. He that waits on his master shall be honored, right? He that endures till the end will be honored. Same way, the principle that we have with this, with in Christianity, right? If you fight the good fight, you get the reward. It's that simple. You do good, you get good, right? So reap, boom. You know what I'm saying? He who waits on his master shall be honored. The worker is worthy of his reward. If you keep the tree, it's important for you to eat the fruit. It's cruel and unfair to keep the fruits of a man's labor from him. Mentioned the fig tree because abounded in Canaan, they were most valued and regarded than other fig trees. And apparently a fig tree needs closer attention than other plants, so being diligent makes it that much better. Right? He who waits on his master will be honored. The appropriate fruit from properly serving one's master is to be honored. It isn't right to keep honor from the one who has waited faithfully on his master. God promised the rewards those who wait upon him. Do your work diligently and leave promotion reward up to God. In a sermon in this proverb, Charles Spurgeon mentioned many ways that our master honors his servants. We are honored in his honor. We are honored with his approval. We are being given more to do. We are honored in the eyes of our fellow servants. We are honored by the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Right? And even now, I have a problem in my job, right, of not receiving honor, right? Some people, they're good employees. Some people, they're bad bosses, right? Because one, being an employee, that's being a follower. Not a follower, but like, you're a subordinate. You're under somebody and you're just being told to do stuff and it works. You're good at that. You can follow directions. You know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that. A boss is a leader, somebody who's in charge of other people. While they may be a boss, most times bosses are also employees. So as a boss, you're in this weird middle ground of you receive honor, but you also give honor. And I'm kind of speaking like I'm saying this to my boss kind of thing, but like, it's important to note for everybody, I think, because I think everybody should at some point in their life be a boss in some sense, right? Whether that means you're in your home and you're a father and you're tending to your children, or your dad and you're tending to your children, right? Being their boss, you have to give them honor, right? So my boss now, you know, good employee, great employee, I would say, right? All the things that she does, very good. But in terms of being a boss and being a leader and an example, it's just not there, right? Some people, they can do a lot of good work, but they can't transfer that, right? A lot of sports players, right? They'll play in college or they'll play in high school. Sometimes they suck on the field, but they're really good at coaching. Some coaches, maybe people think they know more than they do, but really they're supposed to be out there playing on the field or whatever the case is, right? Either way, point being, we're not getting the honor we deserve, right? We constantly get berated for asking questions and trying to get clarification so we can do better, right? So we can do the things that we're supposed to do. But how are you going to be a boss and honor your employees? How are they going to faithfully wait on their master if their master doesn't help them back, right? How can a teacher expect a student to know everything and then get mad when the students ask questions? Those two things don't correlate together. And especially me being an early childhood education major, I know that one, this isn't just important in child development to affirm questions and not to be too harsh and right and take some level of care, but like we're young adults going out into the professional world. It's good for us to experience this, but this isn't something you experience and people make an experience purposefully. You don't purposely be a bad boss, so people say, well, at least you know how to handle it now, right? Instead, it's just like, what are we doing? Why are you like this? You've been working here for X amount of years. Like, you should be nice, right? And this has to do with a lot of people's just development in general. Now we're unhappy. Now the work's getting worse. Waiting on our master seems to be a harder and harder task. And me, luckily, God has blessed me with a good amount of patience to where like I can maintain. But at the same point, I'm looking like angry and I'm looking like I want to crash out because, you know, we're not getting the honor we deserve. It's always, you can do this better. You can do this better. And I don't mean you can do this better in like, you know, good feedback sense, like critical feedback, whatever the term is, right? It's more so just like nitpicking at things. And I like nitpicking, but like not when I'm not getting honor. Because if you're just nitpicking, then it doesn't seem like I'm doing a good job. And I'm not saying like she's just nitpicking like, you can do better in this and this and this, right? It's not positive nitpicking, it's negative nitpicking. Like you're looking for the things I'm doing wrong, so you can't give me that honor. You don't want to give me that honor. That plus the fact that you mispronounced my name in front of the people of our conference 2 to 3 times already today. I had to go up to everybody, reintroduce myself under my correct name, right? Under my correct name. You can't even get my name right. Why are you my boss? Why are you a leader when you don't know your employees' names? And I know that she knows my name. The way she said it and stumbled through it, she intentionally said my name wrong. I don't know if it said that on her sheet and she was trying to make it like that. Like she tried to force herself to say my name wrong to irk me intentionally. But, you know, it happened nonetheless. And she didn't correct herself. But then she said my name correctly at the end of the thing. So now I'm thinking people are probably confused. Is his name this or is his name that? And they were close. I'll say the names are close. But at the end of the day, like, I'm your employee. You should know my name. I'm one of 24 people. You're my supervisor. You should know my name. We've been here for dang near over a month. We've been here over a month. You should know my name. And I know you know my name. You knew my name week 1. What changed? What did I do? Where's my honor? But the thing is, I don't need my honor from her. I get my honor from God, right? We see what he does. In his honor, we're honored. In his honor, when we're honored, we get his approval. We're given more to do. This is one of those many things I think I was just given more to do with, right? To be here, to explain, to exude godliness, which, you know, I won't say I'm doing the best job at, but like, you know, we're given more to do. More is supposed to be done. I'm supposed to grow in some way from this opportunity. And I'll look to God for that honor. I don't need her. I don't need human approval. I get my honor from God. All right, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.